All right. Morning, everyone. Okay, so quickly we're gonna start because we are actually lagging behind in one or two topic. Let me share my screen here. Okay, all right. So in Monday's session we had discussed WAP, and I'm gonna start it one more time because I don't think that you get anything from that session. So I'm repeating everything from the very beginning. Okay, so the chapter name is WAP, which stands for Wireless Access Application Protocol. Sorry, Wireless Application. So this is the third last chapter. After that, there are two chapters. One is for routing, and another one is for 4G. We will see that chapter also. So in WAP, actually, this is I told you that this is a very old technology used for the mobile which were used earlier, like the Symbian mobile or Java mobile, जिसमें आपने वो कीपैड वाले जो फोन आते थे उसमें जो एप्लीकेशंस बन के आती थी, जैसे यूटिलिटीज हैं या फिर गैलरीज हैं या फिर कोई गेम है, वो सब जावा बेस्ड होती थी और मोस्ट प्रिसाइजली दे वर्क ऑन वैप. उन सभी एप्लीकेशन को ये वैप सपोर्ट करता था. ओके, आपका ब्राउजर जो था पहले का, जो बहुत ही स्लो लोड होता था, और वो पूरा का पूरा ब्राउजर वैप पे बना हुआ है, वायरलेस एप्लीकेशन प्रोटोकॉल. आजकल का पूरा ब्राउजर एंड्रॉइड या उस तरीके में बना हुआ है, उस लैंग्वेज में बना था, लेकिन पहले ये वेब पे बनता था पूरा. सो हम वो ओल्डेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी को पढ़ के नई टेक्नोलॉजी को समझेंगे. ओके, सो दिस इज वायरलेस एप्लीकेशन प्रोटोकॉल. और इस पूरे प्रोटोकॉल को हैंडल करने के लिए एक फॉरम बनाया गया था जिसका नाम है वेब फॉरम. सो दिस इज द फॉरम व्हिच हैंडल्स योर वेब प्रोटोकॉल, WAP. ओके, this is a WAP form develops standards for application deployment over wireless devices, and it supports many devices like PDA, personal digital assistant, and your mobile phones, sometimes pagers and all. Okay, it is similar to that of OSI layer. अगर आप इसका architecture देखो वेब का, it is very similar to that of OSI layer, and that's why it is also called as a layered architecture. So WAP supports or is based on layered architecture, very similar to that of OSI layer. OSI, just like OSI layer consists of 7 layers, it also consists of some layers which is taken by the OSI layer. So some of the layer consist of these layer. Some of the layers we will discuss that these layer consist of so the first layer is basically wireless application. Sorry, every time I write access, it means application. Wireless application environment, which is WAE. See, the whole chapter is based on this layer only. Okay, there are, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 or 6 layers, and the whole chapter is on 6 layers only. Okay, if you get these 6 layers, the chapter gets complete. The weightage of this chapter is very small, so 1 or 2 questions going to be asked based on layer only. So if someone asks you explain the web architecture, you need to write the whole thing. Otherwise, there is no going to be very small questions or big question. Only one question will come, like explain the whole wireless application protocol. So you need to write the whole thing. Then it is a wireless session protocol. After the end of all chapters, I'll give you very important questions which can be asked in exam, so you prepare in that way. All right. Then we have wireless transaction protocol. Also, this is having a short abbreviation such as WSP. I'm sorry, WSP, having an abbreviation as WTP. And then we have wireless transport layer security, also known as WTLS. And then we have a layer wireless datagram protocol, also known as WTP. Now these are the layers which is generally used in your wireless application protocol. So if you see these are actually very similar to that of OSI layer, such as this application environment is similar to that of application layer in OSI. This session protocol is similar to that of session layer. Simple, right? Transaction is basically based on these two. It is not actually in the what do you call OSI layer. You can consist this transaction as in the presentation or in the session. Okay, so I do not have a layer of OSI here. Then this transport layer is very similar to that of transport layer. And here we have a datagram protocol which is similar to that of network layer. So this transaction layer consists of any layer, maybe specifically used for transaction. So if I'm sending one data from a sender to receiver, like in the form of transaction, then you can take any layer, such as physical layer or maybe presentation layer or maybe session layer. So there is no specific layer for OSI here. So these are the things, these are the layer which consist of this. So you can take the diagram, please take the diagram of this architecture. So here I'm going to write refer the web architecture from internet. There is a whole lot of diagrams. So if I show you web architecture, so you need to take the diagram. This your book is having this diagram. You can take this diagram here. Where is it? This one. You can take this diagram. This is web architecture. Your book, the Authenticate book, is having this diagram. This is the whole layer that I had told you about, web application protocol. You need to draw this one, right? So here, and so first of all, we will discuss the application environment. If you see the wireless application protocol, wireless application environment. So let's discuss the wireless application environment. Wireless application environment. Now, if you see the wireless application environment diagram, which we had seen in previous session also, but not in a very clear way. Syllabus for, yes, again, one more time, syllabus for mid is again the same. The previously had, as I told you, first, second, and the third chapter we have GSM only, no GPRS. Okay, only the third chapter GSM. Okay, no changes. The syllabus was already been whatsoever the syllabus that I had told you is the same. It's not going to be changed. So we have a wireless application environment, and in this environment we have components. We have different components. And let's discuss one by one the components. So there is something called as user agent that we had seen, right, previously. So agar aap dekho, user agent, it could be anything. It's a client only, but client is using some service to get that service. Okay, it could be a browser here. So if I say, or it could be a command prompt. Okay, or it could be like a telnet session, or it could be it could be any chat relay. Okay, so it's something like an application which is getting and posting the things, okay, or the services. So here in the user agent, it is the browser from the user perspective. The browser or a client program, could be a client program, by which he can get the service from the server side. So user agent is there. Then if you see, there is a language in the wireless application protocol. There is a specific language, and the language name is wireless markup language. The language is very similar to that of HTML. Just like your HTML, we have a wireless markup language. We will see the glimpse of that language also. It is like outdated language. No one is using right now. but still it is there in the market for some business oriented. So we have wireless markup language. It is also known as WML, if you had seen this or if you have heard about it. It is a lightweight markup language. It's a lightweight markup language similar to HTML. Okay, it is optimized to get the services in wireless device. Okay. So it's very similar to that of HTML. The tags and all are somehow different, but it is going to work very similar to that of HTML. Then we also have a WML script, just like your JavaScript. Okay, it's the same thing here. So why it's lightweight? Lightweight because there are no components such as HTML. जैसे कि HTML में आपको बहुत ज़्यादा ध्यान रखना पड़ता है, like P, BR, maybe body. अगर नहीं होगा तो error आएगी likewise. इसमें ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. इसमें 2 या 3 टैग important है. वो 3 टैग लगा और उसके बीच में आपको सारा काम करना है. There is a deck and card. बस ये 2 टैग है आपके. Okay, so that's why it is called as lightweight. HTML के अंदर बहुत सारा कॉन्फ़िगरेशन कभी-कभी करना पड़ता है. लाइक इमेज है तो इमेज के लिए आपको सोर्स चाहिए, रेफरेंस चाहिए, ऑल टैग चाहिए, राइट? दैट्स व्हाई इट इज नोन एज लाइटवेट. क्योंकि अगर आप पुराने एप्लीकेशंस, अगर पुराने मोबाइल में कभी एप्लीकेशन देखोगे, दे आर वेरी वेरी सिंपल, जस्ट लाइक ओके एंड कैंसिल. सो 2 बटन्स ओनली, देयर आर नो वेराइटीज इन इट. बट अभी तो ओके और कैंसिल में अगर आप बटन देखो तो उसमें कितना ज्यादा ऑप्टिमाइज्ड किया हुआ उन्होंने. लाइक उसके एजेस बहुत स्मूथ किए हुए हैं, बोल्ड होना चाहिए, इटैलिक होना चाहिए, बहुत सारा कॉन्फ़िगरेशन किया हुआ है. सो दैट्स व्हाई इट इज लाइटवेट. ओके, so we have a WML script here. It's a lightweight script because lightweight client-side script. Okay, it's a client-side script similar to that of JavaScript. Okay, the another component in wireless environment, we have wireless telephony application, and this is specifically meant to have that जब आप कॉल करते हो तो उसमें कॉल फॉरवर्डिंग एंड ऑल जो ऑप्शंस आते हैं, आपको कॉल को होल्ड करना या फॉरवर्ड करना या वेट करवाना, वो सारी जितनी भी एप्लीकेशंस है वो आपका वायरलेस टेलीफोनी एप्लीकेशन हैंडल करता है. इट्स अ टेलीफोनी सर्विस. It's a telephony services and programming interface. Okay, जो आप टेलीफोन करते हो उसका पूरा इंटरफेस एंड ऑल बनाना, ये सारा काम इस वायरलेस टेलीफोनी एप्लीकेशन का है. Then we have WAP push architecture. This is also very important. Architecture. It's a push architecture which is specifically meant for your SMS. जब जो आपको SMS मोबाइल में मिलता है, there is a technology behind that. There is a push and pull technology. Okay, so we will see that technology also in the later sessions. So it's a mechanism to allow origin server to deliver content to the terminal, or you can say the client, to the client without terminal or client without client requesting for it. What do you mean by that? You see, it's a simple thing. It's a push technology. Push technology का मतलब क्या है कि क्लाइंट साइड यहाँ से कोई रिक्वेस्ट नहीं कर रहा है सर्वर को कि मुझे भाई ये SMS भेजो. सर्वर ऑटोमेटिकली आपको कोई मैसेज भेजता है. और ये आप जनरली देखते हो अपने मोबाइल में कि आपको वोडाफोन आइडिया हमेशा भेजती रहती है कोई ना कोई मैसेज, कोई कभी किसी एडवर्टीजमेंट का, कभी कोई बिलिंग का या ऐसा, राइट? तो आप क्लाइंट साइड सर्वर मतलब वोडाफोन के सर्वर को बोलता नहीं कि मुझे मैसेज भेजो रोज, नहीं, आप नहीं बोलते, लेकिन सर्वर आपको भेजता रहता है. तो इट्स अ पुश टेक्नोलॉजी. ओके, पुल टेक्नोलॉजी का मतलब क्या है? क्लाइंट साइड कुछ भेजता है, लाइक आप USSD कोड यहाँ से टाइप करते हो और सर्वर उसका रिस्पॉन्ड करता है. सो इट्स अ पुल टेक्नोलॉजी. ओके, वी विल सी दैट. बट पुश और पुल किसके लिए काम आता है? SMS के लिए और कोई सर्विसेज के लिए. So these are the components that is there in the wireless application environment. Is there any problem in order to understand, मतलब समझने में? Any problem? till now? All right. Okay. Now precisely your okay, thank you. Okay, precisely your WAE now. WAE अगर आप architecture देखो इसका architect wireless application. Yeah, this is the one. You can see here. I need a yeah, no problem. This is okay. Right. It is not open image in a new tab. I think you are not. It is not visible, right? Now this is visible, right? You can see it. Okay. So you see, this is your WAE logical model. It's a wireless application environment again. So three interaction are there: client and server, and in between client and server we have a gateway. Okay, इस gateway के पास क्या है? There are it's very similar to that of proxy यहाँ पर, ताकि client को पता ना चले कि server का मतलब IP address क्या है और server को कभी पता ना चले कि client का IP address क्या है. It's going through a proxy here. So gateway could be anything, a last router or a middle router or any intermediate node. Okay, and we will take this diagram into the consideration, and we will put in the WAE. So please refer again here. Please refer the WAE logical model, and we will discuss the logical model here in this phase. Okay, so WAE logical model, the primary objective, okay, the primary objective of WAE is to provide an interoperable environment. Okay, it's a kind of platform environment to build services in wireless space. Again, as I told you, that this environment gives you a kind of platform where you can build a program or any kind of interface for wireless devices or for a wireless client. Okay, so three things are there in this environment. The WAP request. So whenever there is a client requesting something from the server, so it is known as WAP request. The WAP request from the browser, or it is known as user agent here, is routed to a WAP gateway. Now the gateway, the thing about the gateway here is, gateway act as I told you, as an intermediary node between client and network to wireless. So it could be a proxy, or it could be an intermediary node, or it could be a last last router. So this is last mile is nothing but a last router. So it could be used in a GSM or GPRS, or it could be a CDMA. And by the way, this WAP, this whole application protocol, it is used in many technologies such as GSM को बहुत use किया जाता है. GSM, varieties of GSM like GSM 800, GSM 1800, ये आपने देखा हुआ, right? GSM chapter के अंदर. And GSM 1900 also used in 2G and 2.5G, and also somewhat of 3G इसको use करते हैं, right? These are some of the technology which still uses WAP. अभी भी इसको use किया जाता है, right? So this is the gateway. So the gateway here also does encoding and decoding of the WAP request and WAP response from client to the server and vice versa. Now the intention behind this encoding and decoding is to decrease, or you can say the size reduction in this request and response. maybe the request and response are very very huge in size, क्योंकि हमारा टेक्नोलॉजी जब आप 90s में देखो तो वो साइज को लेकर बहुत ही ज्यादा कंसर्न थे कि भाई रिक्वेस्ट की साइज ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए और मेरा नेटवर्क कंजेस्टेड नहीं होना चाहिए। तो वो क्या करते थे, इस इनकोडिंग डिकोडिंग स्टाइल्स को बहुत यूज करते थे ताकि आपकी रिक्वेस्ट जो है वो कम स्पेस रोके और रिस्पॉन्स भी कम स्पेस रोके। ओके, सो तब बहुत जरूरत थी साइज की, एंड दैट्स व्हाई दे आर pretty much using this encoding and decoding styles. So the purpose of encoding and decoding is to minimize the size of data transfer over the air, minimize the size of the data transfer over the air. So that's okay. So this is the intention behind that whole thing. Now you have any problem, you can please ask me. You have any? I'm giving you the same thing. Any doubt inside this? Okay. Okay, then no problem. So if you had seen this diagram, then we will take this components and let's put that into the text form so that you can read it. The major element of the WAE logical model. Now one more thing is, you will see that this architecture is different in different book. So this model may be different here. See, मैंने आपको ये यहाँ मॉडल दिखा है, अगर आप ये सॉरी ये नहीं, अगर आप यहाँ पर दूसरा कोई देखोगे, let me, ये लॉजिकल मॉडल था, राइट? अभी मैं आपको एक और डायग्राम दिखाऊंगा which will be different from this, like this. अरे कहाँ चला जा रहा है? This is the logical model, and now if I show you this one, you see this is completely different here. There are no proxies here. You see, there are no proxies, only encoders and decoders. And there is one more diagram which is, see, this one is also a logical model here. Now in the client side it is showing you the scripts and all, okay, but there is no gateway at all. So I insist you to please look at the book Ashok Talukdar. If you do not have the PDF of it, I will give you that. You please look after that book. You will see this diagram. This is an authenticated diagram. In this, you need to draw this one. Okay, do not refer any other diagram. I'll give you that PDF. It's a very long PDF, actually. I think 60 or 70 MB. It's a scanned copy, so that's why it's a very huge. So I'll upload it in the e-content. So please look after that diagram. So इसमें बहुत सारे diagrams हैं, इसलिए आपको जरूरत पड़ेगी. So the major element of this WAE, the first one is already been discussed. WAE user agent. It's a user-facing client software. Again, it's the same thing. Here it could be a browser. User agents are integrated into the web architecture, and basically how they can access the service, it's similar to that of internet that you are surfing right now with the help of URL. Okay, so they need any service from the WAP, then he can give the URL. So they interpret the network content, it means the service, the network content via a URL, uniform resource locator. And WAE also includes user agents for two primary standards. Standard content. One is known as encoded WML and another one is compiled WML script. Encoded WML and compiled WML script. So what generally means of this encoded and compiled WML script, and this you already had been observed. Sometimes अगर आप कोई पुरानी वेबसाइट विजिट करने जाओगे जहां पर बहुत ज्यादा फ्लैश एंड जावास्क्रिप्ट यूज किया गया है, तो वो लोड होने में टाइम लगती है, और कभी कभी आपको पॉपअप आता है क्रोम के अंदर दैट this script is not responding, something like that. Have you seen that kind of error in your Chrome sometimes in the websites? This script is responding too late or something like that. I do not remember the complete that pop-up, but have you observed that? Oh, someone had observed. इसने भी नहीं ऑब्जर्व किया होगा. It is written that the client side script is taking too much time. Do you want to close it or something like that? Have you not? All right, no problem. So that thing is basically been put by this compiled WML script. वो जो चीज आपको दिखती है वो इसकी वजह से है. Okay. Then we have something called as content taking too long to respond. Yeah, जब भी आपको ये message मिलता है taking too long to respond, it means it is not a compiled script. Okay, वो compile होने में बहुत time लग रहा है JavaScript को. अभी के time पे JavaScript, तब के time पे WML script. So ये तो same चीज. Okay, वो compile होने में बहुत time लगता है, इसलिए वो पेज ओपन नहीं हो पाता या फिर हैंग हो जाता है वहीं का वहीं. You cannot close it, you cannot open a new Chrome, so something like that. So that is the thing that is handled by this WA user agent. And the next thing is we have content generators, and it's very easy to understand. It means the service itself. Okay, so there is a blog, or there might be a gallery, image website, or might be a music website, or might be a book website, ERP system. So all these are content generators. Okay, to which client can get the service. So applications on origin server. So servers के अंदर जो भी applications है, जैसे कि मैंने बताया, blog हो सकता है, कोई ERP website हो सकती है, it could be like a movie website, a download website, something like that. Application on origin server, origin servers that extract standard content in response to request from user agent. So they are typically in the www. So these are the content generators. So content generators आपके कहाँ होंगे? यहाँ पर होंगे, origin servers पे. So ये आपको जो ये database दिख रहे हैं, इसके अंदर आपके सारे contents होंगे. So it could be a blog database, it could be a gallery database, it could be a music database, something like that. Okay, so client is going to request something by sending a WAP request. That request is going to be handled by this gateway. Okay, so gateway, and then it is going to be forwarded to the origin server. जो भी request इसने की हुई client ने, अगर वो music के लिए है तो music server के पास जाएगा. So server will going to respond with a content, again is going to be decoded here and then forwarded to the client side. So this is a simple process like client server architecture. So this is the thing with the content generator. And then we also having a standard content encoding. Encoding could be like base 64 or UTF जो आप देखते हो. So standard content encoding, a set of well-defined content encoding allowing WAE user agent to navigate web content. Okay, so there could be chances of you can use base 64, or you can also use UTF-8. These kind of encoding and decoding we never have in the computer course. Generally इसको electronics and communication में पढ़ा जाता है, क्योंकि this is base 64 by the way. I never read this base 64 in UTF. I mean everyone knows about this कि ये कैसे किया जाता है, but no one knows the internal architecture of base 64 and UTF-8. Do you know the things that how this encoding and decoding styles happen? Anyone? Problem. This is the work of gateway. Okay, so this is the whole thing about WAE, and now we will see. Also, we had seen wireless markup language, which is a WML. It is a tag based document language, very similar to HTML. WML implements a DAC and card metaphor. Okay, दोनों WML जो है पूरा का पूरा वो DAC और card के ऊपर पूरा का पूरा चलता है. I never create any application based on WML, but उसका जो syntax है पूरा का पूरा वो कुछ इस तरीके का है. So you see there is a WML as HTML, and then there is a closing of this WML, and then in between these two tags there is a card, and we give a ID to that card. Okay, so if this is an starting, and then we're gonna close this card, and inside one card you can perform the operation. So मैं हर एक card को एक ID दे सकता हूँ. ID equals to, let's say this is 1. There is a title. You can also give a title here that this is the first card, and then inside this card you can have your content. So there might be a paragraph tag, and this is my first card. Okay, I can do this, and you can write anything in between these two cards. There might be one more card here. Let's say card ID equals to 2, and you can give a title here equals to second card, and you can close this. You can write a paragraph or any button if you want to put a button here. So this is my second card. So this is the way your WML works. I never worked with WML, but you can have a large tutorial on WML tutorials. You can find this WML. You can find various syntax, and if you see environment, so not in environment, but see there is a font tag. Here is the font, और आपको कुछ ऐसा मिलेगा. देखो options and back. Okay, 2 options are only. आपको output में कुछ इस तरीके से दिखेगा. You can also look after any other thing like images. If you want to see, you will get a image like this. Can you see this? This option and back ये आपका same रहेगा, and you see something like that. अब इसका ये code भी देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर. This is one card, and this is, so only one card is there. Only one card we having one paragraph and one image, very similar to that of HTML. पूरा similar है. So you can write this example or any example of WML in your exam if someone asks you. So there are no programs. I mean, no one gonna ask you program of WML in the exam. It's a very short note. You do not have to write a program for anything. All right. So this WML, I hope you are getting it. I mean, if you know HTML, then you definitely know this WML. All right. I mean, any problem? Can you please tell me, is it okay or not? I mean, you are getting the things or not? All right. Then move on to the wireless telephony application. It is also known as WTA. Sometimes it is also known as WTAI. And जब WTI, I mean telephony application की बात है, तो ये आपको क्या क्या चीजें करने दे सकता है? One thing it gives you to have a control on your call. Okay, जो आप incoming call आ रहा है या आपको outgoing call करना है, ये उसको handle करता है. दूसरा, इट हैंडल्स योर एसएमएस. ओके, तब के टाइम पे एमएमएस नहीं आते थे, तब के टाइम पे सिर्फ और सिर्फ एसएमएस आते थे, एंड विच आर आल्सो वेरी स्मॉल इन रेंज. आप आई थिंक अगर आप नोकिया का फोन में देखो तो आई थिंक वो आपको 100 टेक्स्ट से ज्यादा लिखने नहीं देता था. अगर आप उससे ज्यादा लिखते थे तो मैसेज आई मीन कॉन्केट होकर 2 बार जाता था. हैव यू सीन दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग? उसमें लिमिट होती थी कि आप 100 से ज्यादा आप नहीं पुट कर सकते हैं टेक्स्ट. यस. So it concate there and send it 2 times to the receiver. So that thing is going to be handled by your telephony application. Then there is a complete contact diary, your phone book actually, the contact list. Okay, it will handle that. So आपको edit करना है या new contact बनाना है या cancel करना है या delete करना है, those things. Then also sometimes it is also having जैसे ये 2G और 2.5G में आया आपका web protocol, तब ये कॉल लॉग्स भी बनाने लगा, जैसे कि डायल, रिसीव और मिस कॉल, ये सब चीजें भी हैंडल करने लगा. उसके प्रोग्राम भी अच्छे से हैंडल करने लगा. और अगर आप इसको 3G में देखोगे तो इसने कॉल फॉरवर्डिंग और कॉल वेटिंग और होल्ड रिकॉर्डिंग, इन सब चीजों को भी सीखा है. Okay, so these are the things that is handled by this wireless telephony application. So let's write this thing in a text here. WAP offers WTAI, which is known as wireless telephony application interface. Okay, functions to create telephony application. This is achieved through wireless telephony application, user agents using appropriate WTAI functions. So whosoever have formed this WAP, मतलब जिसको handle करता है WAP forum, if you want to know more about all these applications and all, you read WAP forum. It's a very lengthy document, बहुत बड़ा है document. If you want to read, you can precisely read it for your more clearance on the topic. Okay, so with the help of WTAI function, you can call a specific necessity. Okay, जैसे अगर आपको मिस कॉल अगर जानना हो तो आप उस फंक्शन को कॉल करो. अगर आपको कॉन्टेक्ट देखने हैं तो उस WTA फंक्शन को कॉल करो. So likewise, okay, it is programmed by the WML programmers in that way. So these are different. There are different library functions to do different telephony. Telephony, it means telephony functions. Here telephony functions means it could be voice call control, which deals with call setup and control outgoing call. It could be a network text. So it could be an SMS here. Okay, so we have a phone book. Here it could be contact. Phone book We also have call logs. It deals with dial, call, and receive call and a missed call. Okay, so these are the telephony functions, and these functions can be invoked by different library functions. Okay, which is written in this WTAE interface, wireless telephony application interface. So if you want a contact, so there is a specific library function for contact, which is there in the wireless telephony application interface. That's a simple chain here. I hope it's clear. It is clear or not? Please just acknowledge me that you get things or not, so that we can proceed with other. Okay. Okay. So the next thing is we have WAP push architecture. So in the push architecture, as I told you, the service, okay, gathered by the client. So there is a pull and push technology. Both things are there. So in a normal way, in a normal client server model, a client request for a service or an information from a server. Okay. And what happens then? Server then responds to this request by transmitting information back to the client. This is referred as, what kind of technology is this? Can you tell me? Is it a push or pull technology? Is it a push technology or a pull technology? It's a push technology. No, okay, it's a push technology. Anyone else? Pull as client request. All right, so it's a pull technology. Actually, whenever a client is requesting something from server, it is going to be pull. So this is referred as pull technology. All right, Pratik. Where client pulls the information from the server. Okay. However, your WAP offers push technology. Push technology, where client never requests explicitly to the server. But server transmits its content. So in general, in order to remember this, in general, push is basically always initiated from the server. And when it deals with pull, always initiated from the client, or initiated by the client. And it's a very simple thing. you see in the paint, if you see the diagram, you need to draw the diagram as well. So if this is a client here, if this is a client here, and this is the origin server or server here, okay, so then so client, if client requests something from server, so this is going to be the pull technology. Okay, this is pull technology as a client is requesting from the server. So this is a whole round shaped is a pull technology. But whenever server is whenever a client is not explicitly asking the server and server is sending something directly to the client, this is nothing but push. Okay, so this is the thing. And there are also many diagrams of this push and pull technology. You can again refer, please refer here. Please refer the diagram of push and pull technology. So one more diagram is in the terms of WAE environment. We have a user agent here. A user agent, and there could be an origin server. It's a push initiator. It's an origin server. It's a push initiator, and in between the user agent and origin server, as I told you, there could be an push proxy. इसको हम क्या बोलेंगे? Push proxy, or in terms of WAE, it's a gateway. Okay, the same three components which I put it over here: a client, a gateway, and origin server. So now this user agent is in the WAE and WAP domain. So if this is in WAP domain, so this whole is a domain here, and user agent is sitting over there. And if I'm talking only about WAP, and WAP offers only push technology, right? So this origin server, this push initiator, which is there in the internet domain. So ये यहाँ पर है वो internet domain के अंदर है. इसके पास सारी services है. That's why he is an internet, right? So he is going to use push access protocol to send something, but from where? It is going to be sent via some gateway. Okay, it is going to be sent it via a gateway. It is going to be encode this or decode this thing, and then it is going to be forwarded to the push over the air protocol. This is the thing. Okay, so the naming conventions are something like this. He is sitting on the WAP domain, and this is an internet domain. This is what do you call? This is not a request; it's a response. Something. Okay, this is a response basically. I cannot say response. It's just a message here. Let's say. Okay. Okay. If I response right now, that means there might be a request also. Okay, so I cannot write a response. It's just a message here. But how this message has been sent? Using message sended using something called as push access protocol. So push technology के लिए भी हमारे पास protocol बने हुए हैं, known as push access protocol. And here, when it is moved from the gateway, there is a push over the air protocol, which is nothing but a similar thing. Push over the air protocol. Okay, so this is the thing about the push technology. Any problem in this whole thing? I hope no one is saying that means no problem. So next thing is we have a wireless session protocol. Okay, WSP is session protocol, and I think it is also again the very obvious thing that it's a session protocol. That means it is maintaining some sessions, right? So it is going to maintain the consistent session between the two interfaces or the two clients who are talking. So it provides consistent interface between two session service. Session service. Here it could be two session, which means it could be a client and server. So what it provides? It provides many things, such as it will establish a reliable session from a client and server. So first thing is it will establish a reliable session from client and for client to server. Then we have, it will agree on the common level of protocol. So if a client is using TCP, then it is very necessary that the server is also respond with the TCP protocol. Okay, common level protocol पे दोनों का session establish होगा, otherwise the session is not going to be established. So they both parties are going to agree on a common level of protocol, a functionality. Another thing is, again, the same thing, encoding and decoding style should be also same. So if a client is using base 64, then it is very necessary that a server is also using base 64. So that content format, dono side change now, same rahe, right? So again, exchange content between client and server using encoding. Next thing is suspend and resume session. That's simple, right? So if you are starting a session, it is very necessary that you terminate the session also. Okay, so these are the 4 things that handles by wireless session protocol. There is 1 or 2 things left over, and we will see that thing in the next session, right? So in today's session, you have any problem till now, this whole thing? The next session will going to complete this chapter because it is not very lengthy chapter. It's a very small chapter. If you see the syllabus here, where is it? If you see the syllabus, it's a very small chapter. Wireless application protocol. You see introduction to WAP, web application, web architecture, web protocol stack. Well, these both things are same actually. Web architecture and web protocol stack, they are same. Okay, then challenges and web. So it's a very small chapter, and we're going to complete that in next session. No problem. So you have any problem in this session, you can please ask me right now. Any question? Okay, fine. Okay then. Thank you so much, guys, and we will see you in the next session.